Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2021 Formula 2 season, here for round number 4 of the championship in Silverstone. So heading into this round we have a 4-point lead in the championship over Yuri Vips, so we will just see if we can extend that margin in this round, although we do not get off to a good start in qualifying. Marcus Armstrong takes a pole position. Yuri Vip's not great, but we are all the way down in second last, so it's going to be a difficult weekend for both of us to score any significant number of points, but we'll do our best and see what we can do anyway. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a tricky one, and yeah, there'll be a lot to manage throughout the first part of the weekend. In the first sprint race we'll be starting down the order in 21st position, and same with the feature race, so there could be very difficult starts, especially with some weather on the horizon as well. This could be a challenging weekend, so let's get into it.
Welcome to Silverstone, one of the staples of the Formula 2 Championship. It's a firm favourite amongst fans and drivers alike, and we're all keen to see what it has in store for us in today's race. 5 miles out from Toaster, this icon of British motorsport heritage comprises 18 corners over 3.6 miles of circuit. Silverstone has been through several changes over its lifetime, with the start line now leading into Abbey, a fast right-hander for turn 1. But still there, of course, is the circuit's most famous and iconic sequence of corners, starting at Maggots, turn 10. Joining me today in the commentary box is former 2012 GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi. We all know the circuit so well, Davide. What's got your attention today?
Always a pleasure, Alex. Everyone looks forward to Silverstone, and with such an intriguing grid, I think the fans will be excited for the start of today's race. We know these young drivers are hungry to prove themselves. Hopefully, we'll be seeing some more history being made today.
Alright, so here we are on the grid then for sprint race 1 in Silverstone. Heading into this one, it's going to be a one-stop. Some wet conditions hanging around, but they shouldn't be enough to force us onto the intermediate tyres. It's just a bit of an annoyance, more or less, but we get ready to go. So the 5 red lights. That's lights out and away we go for sprint race 1 in Silverstone. It's a great start, an initial launch off the line. We immediately managed to jump a couple of positions as we try and now go around the outside into turn 1, and we gained more places as we're already up behind Oscar Piastri, who qualified very badly for this round, very uncharacteristic there, but we go continue this fight as we try and find our way now around the outside of the loop. Can we try and make anything work here? There's not really a lot of space to work with, but nonetheless we've made a decent enough start as we get a really great exit there in the end, and now just about pushing Yuri Vips along as we have a look to the inside. And can we make the move on Yuri Vips as we head into left field? Lawson's there on the inside as well, and Lawson's around as we've made a bit of contact. Liam Lawson coming off worst there, and we managed to get around the outside of Yuri Vips through Brooklands, but yeah, unfortunate there for Lawson coming off worst out of the 3 of us there, but 3 into 1 does not always go, as we try and get around the outside of Vips through Cop's corner. It doesn't work out for us. Vips maintains a position, and we just have to slot in behind, but nonetheless we've made a whole chunk of places on the start. We're up into 14th as we go a little bit off circuit there through Maggots and Beckett's, but we managed to keep things going, and we can move on once again as we sit in the slipstream of Yuri Vips. We continue on then to the Vale Club section and go down the inside and make the move on Vips. We almost have a look there on Marino Sato, but no move to be made there, but we're up at 13th position now by the end of lap number 1. So it's been a good start for us, so let's just see if we can keep fighting forwards in this race. We've got a good run through turn 2. Can we go up the inside of Sato from a long way back? We get the nose in into Village, and we will try and make this work around the outside of the loop. No, we'll cut in for a switchback, and we can't quite get the traction down on the exit. Sato holds on as we do get a nice run through entry though, and now onto the straight. Can we have a look to the inside of Sato? We will, and make the move on the inside heading into Brooklyn. It's a bit deep there, but Sato gives us the room, and we make that work up into 12th position now as we look ahead at Marcus Armstrong and Felipe Drogovic fighting away. Armstrong losing the place from the start, but as we continue on, Eurovips trying to make a move up the inside there as we go completely off circuit there through turn 2, just losing control a bit. But here's the onboard with Vips. He was trying to get up the inside into turn 1, and to be fair, he was probably just about far enough alongside, but we didn't give him much space to work with. A bit of contact was made and he went for a bit of half spin. But as we continue on, we continue to lose pace. Roy Nassani going past in a straight line, Christian Lundgaard as well, as we try and go late on the brakes into the Stowe corner, and we try and keep the fight going with Nassani, and we've spun off the inside line, and now we're parked across the road. Vips hits us, and that's probably big damage for Vips. We managed to get away with it as we spin around to see Vips, and a lot of damaged car parts spewed across the circuit, and another car involved there as well. Didn't quite catch who that was. There's Vips getting both his front wheels knocked off. This is on board with David Beckman, and he was very unlucky there to be caught up in that incident. But oh, that looks like one of the Trident cars involved as well. I'm guessing that was and that was Marino Sato involved in that one. I was about to guess it was Viscal, but nonetheless, we go back and board with ourselves. We're in the pit lane, and we switch onto a set of the wet compound tyres for the next phase of this race, because I thought it's worth a try. The slick tyres were feeling worse and worse, so I was thinking maybe it is nearing the crossover point. We are now under safety car conditions after that incident. Obviously the safety car being called out for that, 2 cars out of the race, a lot of debris on the track, so yeah, a lot of cleanup work to be done. So that is of course why we have the safety car out on the circuit. But while that's going on, there is a mechanical failure for Richard Bashaw, and he is out of this one, so that's unfortunate for the Dutch driver. But we go back on board with ourselves, and you can see we did get a penalty for that incident with Yuri Vips, and we have 5-second penalty. Sorry, not 5-second penalty, a drive-through penalty for that incident. So yeah, it was a big incident, and we have a lot of making up for lost time to do. So into the pits we go then to serve that penalty, and it's going to be tough to come back from this one, as we're having a little bit of trouble getting out of pit lane. I was trying to hit the gear up button rather than the pit limiter button, which is what's going on there. But yeah, we serve our penalty and get going once again. But you can see it says we still have a drive-through penalty to serve. So do we have 2 drive-throughs for that? I'm not actually 100% sure, to be honest. But anyway, as we continue through, we have a big old moment on the exit of Cops and go for a huge slide across the grass, and come back onto the circuit and just keep going as if nothing happened. So some style points, if anything, there. But yeah, the race doesn't really get any better for us. Another 360 as we continue through, and yeah, we are just really struggling at the moment in this car, in these conditions. I don't know, it's just something is not feeling right, and yeah, we come in to serve our other drive-through penalty, which is annoying, it's frustrating, but there we go. We get going once again, but I mean, we're so far behind the next car. Oh, for goodness sake. Yeah, we need a safety car to come back from this. But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, in these conditions, I'm just not feeling. It's just not working for me. And you can see, even just at very low speed, we hit the wall. And that might be the most pathetic crash that's ever ended a race, ever. But there we go. Well, seeing as the voiceovers aren't working, I'm going to have to do it all myself. It is a race win today for the Carlin team. Jane de Ruvla taking victory today as he gets out of the car and celebrates what is a very nice victory for him in tricky conditions here in Silverstone. The Carlin team very, very happy with that performance by the Indian driver, and he takes the victory here today in Silverstone.
As we can see, it's time for the podium, and I can see the Carlin team underneath our commentary box going crazy as their driver walks out. It was a great win, and it means a great deal to this team.
So, Jane Deruvala wins Sprint Race 1 in Silverstone. Robert Schwartzman will take second position with Teo Porcher in third.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. On to the teams then. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. Meanwhile, Carlin moved up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Well, yeah. Don't know what to say about that, honestly. Just a horrible race, lost control through Maggots and Beckett's, and it ended in the wall in a very clumsy fashion. But we still hold the championship lead by 4 points because Yuri Vips didn't really do too much in that race either. So yeah, it's just closes the championship up for the rest of the field, I suppose. Gaining points on us, but Piastri and I think even Fittipaldi were down the order too. So yeah, it's been a very weird championship season. No one has really been super consistent so far in the first half. But anyway, let's just get into the next race and see what happens in the rest of this weekend. So in Sprint Race 2, I actually had to run this race twice because the game ran into a couple of issues on the first attempt, but I will show a couple of clips from it just because it was interesting. So Marino Sato had an engine failure. Roy Nassani ran straight into the back of him. Debris went everywhere and actually punctured 2 of our tyres at once, and we had no control and spun into Maggots and Beckett's at very high speed, which is fine. That's not what the issue is. The issue is when we pit to put new tyres on, and we travelled down pit lane at 7 kilometers an hour, which is just ridiculous. I don't know what that was about, but that put us a lap behind, which again, that's fine. We can come back from this because when everyone else made their stops, it was under safety car, so I thought, sweet, we'd be able to get our lap back. We're now we've overtaken the race leader as they're making their pit stop, but we got the message to reduce pace to match the delta, despite the fact we're following the safety car. And the delta was basically the position of the new race leader. I'm not sure who it was, but yeah, we ignored that, tried to push on because I didn't want to get my race ruined by silly stuff like that, but we got disqualified. So I decided to restart the race because I feel like that was a little bit of an unfair situation that we were in, given that we should have been able to get our lap back in that situation. I'm fairly certain. So yeah, we used a restart there, and we go again. But I thought I'd leave that in to I don't know, see what you guys thought of that situation. And yeah, I'm not sure. I assume the rule is if you're a lap down and you're the first car behind the safety car, you should get your lap back. That is well, it makes sense in my mind that you get waved past by the safety car. But anyway, that's enough talk about a race that well, basically didn't happen. Let's go back to talking about this one. We were cautious off the start, and we sit in 20th position as we navigate our way through the first lap, and we are focusing our attentions on Richard Bashaw ahead. So let's see if we can close up to the Dutchman as we head through the middle sector as we go towards Maggots and Beckett's. We've actually got a really nice run here, so can we make a move down the inside of Richard Bashaw into Maggots and Beckett's in the spray? It's hard to see, but that was very, very fine. And now we shift our attention to Lawson as we go up the inside and try and make a few places actually into the Vale and Club sections of the circuit, but we only grabbed Lawson. We couldn't quite get ahead of Roy Nassani at this stage, but we're close behind, and we now take a quick look at a replay of the start at the front of the field. That was very loud, but at the front of the field it was Dan Ticktum who got away well, and he's going to lead the way into the first corner. Alessio Deletta in second position at the moment, so he did a great job in the first race of the weekend to be up there on the reverse grid front row. But yes, it is Dan Ticktum leading the way at his home race, and he could potentially make it 2 from 2 for the Carlin team, with Deruvula winning the first race. He's got Deletta in second to hold up the field, so it could work out quite well for Ticktum. We go up the inside with a bit of a late move on a lock up there, but we do get ahead of Roy Nassani into the last complex of corners, and that brings us up into 17th position. So we are steadily making our way through the field in this race, as we now shift our attention forwards to Felipe Drogovic, and we go up the inside of the Brazilian, and we just about avoid running into the back of Sato into the final complex corners once again, and making another move there, and we're going up into 16th position. Next up is Marino Sato. As we head through Cops, we get very close behind the Japanese driver, and we've got a great run on the exit as we head to the outside. Can we maybe make a move around the outside? It'll give us the inside for Maggots, and we will just about squeeze through in there and get ahead of Marino Sato, and move ourselves up into 15th position. Ahead of us is Oscar Piastri and Larim Zandelli in 14th and 13th. Go down the inside of Piastri and Zandelli into the club section. Zandelli switches back and gets through, but we do keep the position ahead of Oscar Piastri as we head through the final corner. Now let's see if we can line up Larim Zandelli potentially into Village, as Piastri is very close behind us. We do have to watch out for him. We go a little bit wide at the apex there, as Piastri is very close behind, but now we shift our attention back to Zandelli as we go for a late braking move up the inside. Bit of contact with Zandelli as we slide across the apex of Village, but we do make the move stick on Zandelli as we hold it around the outside into the loop section, and we get ahead of Zandelli there, and now try and calm things down once again, up into 13th position as we look forwards to Christian Lundgaard in the ART car. So let's see if we can chase him down, the Danish driver, up the road. So now as we head into Stowe corner, can we close up to Lundgaard? We've made a lot of overtake in this part of the circuit before, so let's see if we can do it again. Late on the brakes, down the inside, Christian Lundgaard sees us coming, and we're able to get through. Not that I think Lundgaard could have defended that, even if he wanted to. At that point, we came into the apex there with a lot of extra speed on board, but we managed to stop the car and make the move cleanly. Meanwhile, Marino Sato retires from the race with a mechanical failure. We kind of saw that coming from the other clip from just before this race. So that's Marino Sato out of the race, as we go on board now with Richard Verschoor to see his perspective on that, and a bit of contact there between Verschoor and Sato, and I think maybe a slight amount of damage to Verschoor's car after that. So unfortunate for Richard Verschoor. It's not been a great weekend for him. But for us, 12th position at the moment. We're trying to chase down Fittipaldi. Can we go for a move on the Brazilian anytime soon, as the yellow flags are out at the moment? But that is for Bent Viscal, mechanical failure. So that is very unfortunate for the Trident team. Both of their cars out of the race, it would seem, as we go for a late move down the inside. And we make it work, make it stick, and get ahead of Fittipaldi, and we're up into 10th position now with Viscal out of the race. So that's almost into the points. If we have the fastest lap, that will be points. So we head into the pit lane now, and it is time to switch onto the dry compound tyres. We will have to double stack behind our teammates, so that could cost us a bit of time. I don't know how many other people around us will have to double stack. We'll just find out, I suppose, as we all make our stops. Hopefully we don't lose too much time with the double stack. Deletta is there. He's just leaving the box now. We have to wait for our crew to move out the way. We can park in. They need to prepare our tyres, so it's going to be a bit of a hold. It's going to cost us a fair old amount of time as we get the new tyres on now finally and get moving once again. But we've dropped all the way down into 14th position, and we've got to do all the work again to try and find our way back up into the points. But hopefully in the dry conditions we should be able to do that as we now exit pit lane here once again. And we have a lot of work to do on lap 15 of 21, so not long left in this race, but we'll see what we can do in the remaining time. Hopefully we have a chance to hopefully we still have a chance of getting points in this race. I think we do. I think we can continue to fight our way forwards in this one. There are actually still more cars making stops onto the dry compound tyres, and we move our way up into 13th, and we're actually right on the back of a car exiting pit lane. That is Fittipaldi. We go up the inside as he's on cold tyres, and we make the move stick on the Charouz driver, and we are up into 12th position once again, so where we were just before the switch. But as we continue on, we are now... Oh, actually, no, we actually lost places, didn't we? Because we were up into 10th earlier, so there we go, that's happened. But we go up the inside, a bit of contact there with the Red Bull livery car there of Liam Lawson, and we get them through. And I'm just now realising the irony of the two liveries, the Red Bull livery and the black livery of the HWA, making contact in that way at that corner. But thankfully, the outcome was a lot less disastrous in this instance. But wow, we carried a lot of speed through turn 2 there as we were able to sweep around the outside of Larim Zandelli, just carrying the speed and just getting that inside line for the next corner. So that worked out well for us on that occasion, just being able to flow it through there a little bit more nicely. But yeah, we're up into 10th position now as the race wears on, and we're really pushing Schwartzman through. Cops there trying to make the move now to the inside of Maggots and Beckett's. Can we get down the inside of Schwartzman? It's so close on the left hand side there, but we do get through on Robert Schwartzman and move ourselves up into 9th. One more position and we'll be in the points proper, but we already have the fastest lap and we're in the top 10, so we're already banking something in this race as we have a look at the replay of that move on Schwartzman, and he had to give it up there as we were charging up the inside, and he wasn't going to have any of that. He did not want to run side by side through there, and in the end he let us go, which is fair enough, I suppose. But good sportsmanship there from Schwartzman. Maybe it was good Schwartzmanship, who knows. We continue on and we're on the back of Samaya as we go up the inside of the other Charouz driver, and we should be able to make the move stick through here around the outside of the final couple of corners, and we get ahead of Samaya and move ourselves up into 8th position. But meanwhile, up the road, it has been a dominant performance for this man, Dan Ticktum, the home favourite, British driver, British circuit, and he is going to come around the final few corners in the Carlin car. It's 2 wins on the trot for the team, but Dan Ticktum wins Sprint Race 2 here at Silverstone. Great stuff for him as we now head towards the final few corners. We're close behind Jane Deruvala. Can we go for the move down the inside? We will get there, but Deruvala is going to hold it around the outside. It's going to be side by side all the way through the final few corners. Shades of Zandelli and Viscal in real life F3 a few years ago, but we will get the move done around the outside of Jane Deruvala and make the move stick up into 7th position across the line. And that was a nice way to end a fairly difficult start in the first few races of this weekend, which is to have to do it all again in the feature race. But nonetheless, very, very happy with how that race went, and able to bring home some points at the end, which is always good. So yeah, very, very happy with that one. How long is this going to go on for? We're still going. Well, it's been a great weekend for the Carlin team so far. They've won both sprint races. The first one with Jane Deruvala, this one with Dan Ticktum, the home favourite driver, British circuit, British fans. And he hears the roar of the crowd as he puts an arm in the air in celebration of that performance. A dominant victory here for Dan Ticktum, and a very, very popular one among the crowd as well.
And there you have it, today's winners. Having raced some of the biggest names in F1 to date, Carlin have once again shown their expertise when it comes to recruiting new talent. No doubt today's winners have a bright future ahead of them. They certainly deserve it after today's performance.
So Dan Ticktum wins Sprint Race 2 here in Silverstone. Second place goes to Alessio Daleda with Guan Yu Zhou in third.
And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. It's a good result for Jack Aitken, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship. And now a look at the team standings. Meanwhile, Carlin move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. There will be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you'll join us at the next race when Formula 2 returns.
So I did touch on it briefly, but Daleda, second position, another bank of points for the Italian, who has scored many more points than I would have expected this season. But we'll see if that continues. We're halfway through the season at the end of this round, so it will be crunch time for the rest of the season. We'll need to really start focusing on qualifying, because while we've managed to limit the damage this weekend, really it's only because our main rivals of Vips and Piastri also qualified quite a way down the order. So there's plenty of work to do in the rest of the season still, because we can't rely on everyone else qualifying badly whenever we do. But it does make the championship fight interesting, because we have drivers with less points scoring more points. So the overall championship between everyone is getting closer and closer in general, and we're getting more contenders involved for the higher positions. So it's good in that way that the championship leaders are having such issues. But yeah, as for this race, I think we fairly well maximised what we could do. If we made our way through the field a little bit more efficiently, I think we probably could have gained another few places maybe, but at the end of the day we scored points after starting down the back, so I can't really be too disappointed with that effort. And fastest lap points as well will also count for quite a lot. They're actually, I mean, if you score a fair number of fastest laps, it actually makes quite a sizable difference in the championship. So yeah, it might only be 2 points in any given race, but if you start racking up multiple fastest laps over the season, it will definitely pay dividends to your points tally come the end of the season. So something to keep in mind, that we may at times need to consciously go for those fastest laps rather than just sort of hoping that we get them. So yeah, something to think about. But anyway, we still have one race to go this weekend, the main race, the feature race. I think it'll be Marcus Armstrong on pole position. We'll be starting down in 21st, so we've got plenty of work to do in that one, so let's just get cracking. Welcome everybody to the final race of the Formula 2 weekend here in Silverstone. Today's race is the feature race, worth 25 points for whoever takes the victory, as opposed to the 15 handed out for each of the 2 prior sprint races. The grid for this race is taken straight from the qualifying results, so let's see how the drivers will line up for the final race of the weekend.
Marcus Armstrong lines up on pole position, with Teo Porcher starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Zendelli, Joe, Richard Verschoor and Schwartzman, Samaya, Ticktum, Deruvala, Ralph Boschart, Dragovic, Vips, Marino Sato and Lawson, Nissani, Piastri, Lundgaard and Ben Fiskel, Beckman, Echarouz, Aitken and Alessio Daleda rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So here we are on the grid for the final race of the weekend. It'll be raining for the start, but dry tyres will be the ones to use. We've got a very weird situation here, but that is the case, and we are forced to start on the hard tyres. We don't have any other options So that's an interesting one. But we go down to 5 red lights and away we go. And it's actually a really great start for us as we get a fantastic launch off the line, and we're gaining a whole multitude of places as we run down towards the first corner. The visibility not so bad compared to the previous few races this weekend, and we've made our way up well into the top 20. Maybe we'll break into the top 15 very soon as we continue to fight our way through in the early phases of this one. Taking the outside line through the loop will probably yield us a nicer exit if we can keep the wheel spin under control as we try and pinch in the Dams car there of Roy Nassani, and we make it work as we now head along the straight. Can we make some more moves around the outside into Brooklands? We try and go around the outside of Lawson, and we're actually going to grab Christian Lundgaard here too as we head to the inside, and we'll make the move stick on Christian Lundgaard and move ourselves ahead of the Danish driver, and that's moved us all the way up into 14th position. We now go down the inside of not only Vips but also Marino Sato, and we're up into 12th position by the end of the first lap. It's been a fantastic start to this one, this final race of the weekend. We've charged through the field on the opening lap, and we've basically almost cut our workload in half for this race compared to where we started. But we made a bit of a mistake there on the exit of Aintree, and Marino Sato back through along the Wellington straight. We go up the inside into Brooklands and we go very deep. Sato will go try and switch it back here, and he does get back through. Very smart driving there by the Japanese driver. We'll have a little peek back up the inside, but we can't quite get there, and Sato will hold on to the position and hold 12th for now. So we do drop one place, but we've still made a fantastic start, and I'm still quite happy with where we are at the moment, as Vips is now looking up the inside. We're going to tip it into the apex anyway, and Vips thankfully pulls out of it as we have a little bit of an issue there on the exit with a bit of sliding, but thankfully we're able to get away with it as Schwartzman retires with a lot of smoke out of the back of the Kramer car there, and I was briefly ducking in for a bit of slipstream, not knowing that he was going very slowly and retiring from the race. So that was an awkward moment there as we go up the inside and make a double overtake, or almost make a double overtake. We go run a little bit deep, but we'll actually manage to hold the positions, and we get ahead of both Felipe Drugovich and Marino Sato, and making 2 overtakes in one corner there, and we move ourselves up into 10th position now, and Drugovich is gone. Felipe Drugovich spins on the exit of Aintree, and that is the Brazilian driver out of the race, as he surely ended up in the wall there. Just on the curb and off the track goes Felipe Drugovich. We'll see the onboard here. On board with the UNI Virtuosi, just ran ever so slightly wide, not by much, and that was actually a very sudden stop into the barriers there. So that is a hard hit for Felipe Drugovich, and yeah, you just see the slightest wobble on the curb upset the car. Marino Sato had to back off and make sure he didn't get involved in that incident, but that actually cost him a place in the end to Yuri Vips. So unfortunate for Sato, they'd lost out due to that. But that brought out the safety car, but we couldn't make a pit stop during that one. It's much too early in the race, especially seeing as we're starting on the harder compounded tyres. But also it is simply was not legal to stop that early in the race. So yeah, we had to just continue on. That may, or another early safety car may help the medium tyre runners at the start of this one if they want to take an early pit stop and run the rest of the race on hards. It is certainly an option. But anyway, we're back underway for green flag racing now, and we weren't able to do anything on the restart, and we remain in 10th position. But as we put the pressure on Ralph Boschung, we might be able to make a move here as we head to the outside, and we'll go side by side into Maggots and Beckett's, and we will get the move done on Ralph Boschung. Another nice move into that section of the circuit. We've made a few there this weekend. Boschung was very clever there in letting us go at the right time, and knowing when to fight and when to just let go, and he let us go at the right moment there. We try and get around the outside of Jane Deruvula, but we were not able to do it there, so we have to wait for a later opportunity. So here we go then, down the inside, and we'll make the move into Village and get ahead of Deruvula once again, and hopefully we'll remain ahead for the remainder of this race. We're up at 7th position now, so we are making very, very good progress through the field so far in this race. Next up is actually Deruvala's teammate Dan Ticktum, in the other Carlin car, so let's see if we can chase him down. As there's a car off the road there. That is Marcus Armstrong. He was the race leader. Marcus Armstrong, the pole sitter, race leader. He has had an issue. Let's have a look on the replay to see what happened to the Kiwi driver as he tips it in to the Brooklands section. He spins all on his own, and Marcus Armstrong, a huge mistake there, and he is now facing backwards and seeing the entire field go past. Marcus Armstrong, a massive mistake there, and that has actually brought out another safety car, so he may have needed some assistance getting the car rolling again. He's not out of the race. You can see his car is no longer there, so he obviously did get moving once again. But yeah, big mistake for Marcus Armstrong there. So that's unfortunate for him, as he sends himself tumbling down the order. That puts us up into 6th position as we now try and go round the outside of Dan Tickton. We get the nose in. He sees us and gives us the room around the outside as we head through entry. This corner can be a bit awkward at times, but we do get around the outside of Dan Tickton there, as the track is now completely dry at this point in the race. So no risks less risks in doing that kind of stuff, and running the risk of going a bit wide, as Felipe Drogovic was caught out by earlier on when the track was a little more greasy. But yeah, we're able to take those risks now, unlike Drogovic earlier on. So anyway, we continue on, and as we're up into 5th position now, we are very rapidly gaining on 4th. Guilherme Samaya, who's running very high in this race. We get the DRS on the Charouz driver, and we should be able to just blaze past here on the run into Stowe, and we make the move stick on Samaya and move ourselves up into 4th position as we now look ahead. And there's actually both MP Motorsports cars are fighting away up there, as there's a bit of contact there between Teo Porcher and Oscar Piastri. Porcher straight into the pit lane, and he I think will need a new front wing after that bit of contact, turning down, not realizing that Piastri was charging and down the inside. But you can see I've caught up to Vachor and Zandelli. Vachor having a little look to the outside, Zandelli not having any of it, as we now go up the inside of Vachor, as he was blocked off by his teammate, and a bit of fighting between the teammates there has helped us get past one of them, and with no DRS for Zandelli, it's easy for us to just go soaring past, and we get the move done on him to move ourselves up into 2nd position. And the only car ahead of us now is Guan Yu Zhou. But before we have a chance to catch up to him, it is actually time to switch to a new set of the medium compound tyres, and we'll run these for the rest of the race. The tyre strategy is a little bit weird in this race because of the mixed up nature of the previous races this weekend. There are certain limitations on the tyres we have available, but anyway, we again struggle to get out of pit lane there. I don't know what's going on, how I've suddenly forgotten to turn off the pit limiter, but there we go, we figured it out eventually as we fumble through all the buttons on the steering wheel trying to find the right one. But we get going again, and we can start pushing on and try and set some purple sectors, and we should get an undercut because no one else has made their final stop this early, other than the drivers who started on the medium compound tyres. So we're on a different race strategy then completely, so we'll see how things play out for them only at the end of the race. But we continue on, and we move ourselves up into our 11th position as more stops are made, and that is almost in the points for us. We've got Guan Yu Zhou ahead, so we couldn't quite get the undercut on the Chinese driver, but we did maintain our position ahead of everyone else on our strategy. And as everyone else makes their final stops, the field is now cleansed, if you like. What you see is what you get, and what you see is that we're only in 7th position. So that 2nd position we were in before was a little bit fake. But anyway, Jane Deruvalet retires from the race with mechanical failure. Race winner of the first one this weekend, but he won't make it to the end of the last one. But up the road, another Red Bull livery car, Yuri Vips, is going to take the win here, and there was no action for us in the rest of it, and we crossed the line, and we'll only take 7th position in the final race of the weekend. That ended very suddenly, but there was really no action to show in the final phase of that one, so that's it, that's the end. Enzo Fittipaldi gets the driver of the day, and we cross the line sideways, because why not? But yeah, another decent chunk of points for us. Probably could have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. Obviously starting on the mediums would have been the ideal strategy, but I tried and I couldn't find any physical way to switch to that strategy. But anyway, I have to play commentator again, so here we go. Yuri Vips and the high-tech team are victorious here in Silverstone. As you can see, the Estonian driver getting out of his car and celebrating with the team. A fantastic drive to win the feature race here in Silverstone, and the team will be, and driver will be taking home a very healthy dose of points after that result.
And as they make their way down to the podium, there's no denying the strength of the high-tech GP team. It was an incredible performance today, and they fully deserve to stand on the top step.
So, Yuri Vips wins the feature race here in Silverstone. Marino Sato will take second position with Enzo Fittipaldi in third.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams' Championship. It was also a strong race from Trident this weekend. Fantastic work from the Italian team to move themselves further up the table. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Well, there we have it. Another strong race for Deleta as well, finishing up in fourth position. Yeah, it was a race of strategy, and unfortunately, as I briefly mentioned, I wanted to start on the medium tyres, but I tried on the strategy screen, and it physically would not let me switch them around and start the race on the medium tyres. I tried every combination of moving stints around I could think of, and I physically couldn't get the medium tyres to the beginning of the race. So yeah, it was a bit of an annoying little thing there, but anyway, that's just how it is. We had to start on the hards. But anyway, interesting race for the championship, I suppose. Yuri Vips moves back ahead by I think it was 9 points, so that's the biggest the margin's been for a little while now. So yeah, it's been a delightful championship between myself and Vips in the first 4 rounds, and I'm sure it will continue with more contenders getting involved later on. This round, neither of us scored. Well, Vips obviously got the feature race win, but in the first 2 races, neither of us really achieved too much. So yeah, it was a tough round for both of us up until Vips won the final race. Obviously he was very lucky on the strategy side there, but you take what you can get. That's racing. Sometimes you get lucky, and you have to make the most of those times. We've been lucky before. This weekend we were not lucky. We had a bad qualifying and various other issues over the course of the weekend, but nonetheless, we are still in championship contention. There is a long way to go left in this one, so honestly, I just can't wait for the remainder of the season. The next round of the championship is in Monza, one of my favourite circuits on the F1 and F2 calendars, so I can't wait to get into that one. But other than that then, I don't think there's really much else left to cover in this one, so I would just say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. I would really appreciate it, but other than that, I will see you later.